underwater drifting thermal can be very challenging, but improving this skill can yield big gains in airtime. We go into much more detail on our website. For a good challenge, let's make it overcast, make the ground damp and green, throw in a downhill slope and begin on a small hill with no pilots to help. A technique that works here should work anywhere. Okay, that is just rubbish. That thermal has got a lot of drift. It's being affected by the venturi at the top of the hill. And it's got a sharp spike of lift at the front, which is very hard to work because you swing around with such a high bank angle and end up in the sink at the back. So I think I'm going to go and have a look for something better. I'm just using the weight transfer in my harness now to feel out the lift. I'm going to follow this lift line a little bit into wind, keeping my hands high so that I can gain some ground while I'm pushing into wind. I'm trying to position myself in a better place to aim to the place that I want a thermal to release from. That's much better, so it's not drifting me back over the ridge nearly as fast.
Much better place. Rounder thermal.
So in this position I've got much more freedom to work the thermal. It's not getting pushed over the ridge so quickly, which means I can center much better on the lift. I can actually work around the core and get my circles to line up with the center of the strongest lift.
Bit wider. Okay, it's only 1 meter a second, but it's all the way around. It'll probably just scoop everything up off this hill. That's going up pretty high. It's got a pillar house on the top. Bird climbing with me. Swindon out there.
So I've just hit an asymmetric spike of lift on that side. So I'm going to explore off to the southeast a little bit, just to try and see if I can find a better part of the core. Doesn't seem to be anything usable there, so I'm returning back to my original drift.
Yeah, I'm totally ignoring the hill now. Just trying to drift with it, and I'm watching the bird in front of me. He's gliding down. So he's out the front there. Hello. Nice bit of climb there.
So I'm just responding to the strongest lift all the time and trying to adjust my circle to capture that. I'm not really thinking about the drift much. But you can see at this point I'm just about to start drifting with a different line, more northeast, and that's the prevailing wind for the day.
Okay, you're coming back on the bus, baby.
So I'm using a steadying hand on the outside riser here. I don't do this all the time, but some gliders like the Omega X Alps don't respond at all to outside brake control, and the harness is very wallowy, so I'm trying to stabilize myself mainly for your benefit in the GoPro camera so that it's a little bit more stable. It also provides a very steady turn. I'm only adjusting with weight shift and a little bit of inside brake, and this helps me map the thermal when it's so light. This climb takes me all the way up to base, where the enthusiastic climbs give us a bit more reliable lift. But if I drop out, I now know the drift pattern, so I can apply it to the next thermal source to visualize the climb curtain and come into the lift on the best line. For much more about thermal drift, read the full article on our website.